A very warm good morning to one and all present here. I welcome you all for the in-house session. The resource person for today's session is Mr. Mishra. He is the physics faculty of Srinath Public School. He will be talking about teaching methodology with you. Over to you, sir. I welcome you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, today I am here for the in-house study, and my topic is teaching method. Teaching method. So my question is, whenever you are coming to the schools or whenever you are going to the college, our aim is always to take the class effectively. Am I right? So, which method you will use? That is the question. My question is, there are so many ways to teach the students. Even when we are in the college, even when we are in the schools, the teachers taught us in so many methods. But we never ask the teachers in which method you are teaching. We have never tried it also, I think. So, here there are so many methods. So my question is, what is teaching methodology? Basically, teaching methodology is the sets or the principle that is adopted by the teacher to make the teaching process highly effective in the class. That is the basically teaching process methodology. Now, question is, how you make the class effective? That is the more important. So, the thing is that whenever we are coming to the class, our aim is to how we take the class so effective, so that students will like me or like us. That is the question. So, there is so many methods you learn period, I think, that is basically said to be induction methods. Am I right? I think all of you are learning those who have done the period. One of the method that I am going to present here in the in-house training is lecture cum demonstration methods. Now the question is, first question, what is lecture and what is demonstration method? Basically, lecture method is theoretical based. It does not have any relevant with the experiment. Sometimes it has, and most of the times it does not have any relevant with the experiment or with the practicals. So, and the lecture method is not the lecture method is basically used when you are coming to higher classes, so that we will complete their syllabus by giving the lecture in the class. But this is not effective. This is not effective in the class. Sometimes the students understand, sometimes they do not. That is why lecture method, we are not only using the lecture method, but we have to go for some other methods. Now, what is this demonstration method? Demonstration method is basically, you see in the picture, the demonstration method is basically it is to raise the student interest and reinforce memory retention, because they provide connections between the facts and real world application of those facts. The question is here, the important word is the interest and reinforce memory. It means actually they remember and they recall the things. In demonstration, they remember and they recall the things for a time of period. Once we start the demonstrations, they remember and they recall the things for some time of period, and then they take out the fact of the demonstrations and they apply it in the real world then they apply their thoughts and they apply the facts in the real world. So that is the basic the demonstration process. But when you are coming across the lecture method, I have told you that lecture method is basically it is a theoretical base. It does not have any relevance with the experiment. It does not have any relevance with the demonstration. Sometimes it has, and sometimes it does not have. So this is the basic difference between the lecture method and demonstration method. So whenever we are going to the class, we neither use the lecture method nor use the demonstration methods. So if we take the sum of these, it means if we add these two things, lecture method and demonstration method, as well as demonstration method, then I think we can make them understand and we can have the highly effective interactions with the students. So that is why we will take the lecture cum demonstration method. You see in the picture, the teacher is doing some experiment. Am I right? See in the picture, the teacher is doing some experiment. That experiment is nothing that is basically the demonstrations of the things that is to be done in the class, and the teacher is doing this. Am I right? In demonstrations, what happens when you are taking any things or any objects and relevant to the theoretical backgrounds, that is the lecture methods, in that time what happens, the students has always the tendency to ask the questions. Suppose we are taking suppose the Abhay sir has told that class that the value of that G, I think you have asked this question, no? The value of G is not, we are finding accurately on the surface of the, whenever we are dealing with the experiment, simple harmonious, am I right? That is the basic things. Yes. So sometimes when we say that it is known to everyone, all of you have done standard 10, I think, those who have gone to the schools, basically in the English medium, and even in the second also, there in the syllabus, that the value of G is 9.8 meter per second. And when you are doing the same experiment in the class, when you are demonstrating it, in that time you are not getting 9.8, we are getting more than that. But sometimes the students are keeping it 9.8, but this is not the fact. So this is the things that while doing the demonstration and while doing the theoreticals, this is the difference. While doing the experiment we are getting 10 and the value of G is 9.8 meter per second square on the surface of the earth. So this is the basic difference, the lecture method and demonstration. Lecture method is basically the theoretical method and demonstration method is basically the relevant with the theory. Lecture method does not have a relevant experiment, but demonstration method, it has got some experiment, some observations, and some result also. Okay. Now, next. Now lecture method come demonstration method, that is basically if some of these two, if we adopt this method, sometimes lecture and sometimes demonstrate it in front of the students, then that will come as lecture come demonstration methods. If we adopt the process in the class, then we can have the highly effective class with the students. Yes. What is the feature of this? So the lecture come demonstration method, right? These methods include the advantage of both the lecture as well as demonstration methods. It means what? When you are applying this method in the class, sometimes you are giving the lecture on the topic, and if we demonstrate it in front of the students, then they will have some knowledge. They can think of it. They will arise the questions in front of the students, in front of the teachers. And this method, I think, if you adopt this method in the class will be effective, and we can enjoy the class with the students. Next is what? What is the main purpose? Why we are adopting this process, lecture cum demonstration methods? Can you tell me why can adopt this lecture method cum demonstration method? Anybody? Why should you adopt? I think I've given the basic things of it. What is happening in lecture cum demonstration method. So why will adopt it?
Please repeat what you said.
Why should we use the lecture cum demonstration method
Sir, because
to make it effective in the class?
because when we speak, basically it is just reading out the material which is there in the book. And when we demonstrate, we make the concept more clearer to the student. So we should use both side by side so that the concept is clear, and we go with the we make the student acquainted with what we want to teach them actually.
Yes, you are exactly right. That is the things, that is the way, this is the reasons, and this is why we are using this lecture cum demonstration methods to make the clear concept among the students. There should not be any doubt. If there is a doubt, they raise the questions, you can clarify in front of them by doing the experiment. Now the main purpose is what? First is to convey the information. To convey the information means the teacher should have the proper knowledge that what he is going to convey. That means regarding the experiment, what is the aim, what is the objective of the experiment, and what may the result come, that should be clear in front of the students. So teachers should convey all these things among the students so that they gain the knowledge. Next is to generate understanding. Yes. When the teacher is doing the experiment by taking some objects, a real object, then what happens? If it is coming in front of the table, the student will see and they may ask the questions in what is this. So teacher have to convey these things. Second thing, when you are doing the experiment in front of the students, they will know what are the things actually and what is happening in the experiment. So they have to understand, they will think of it, and they have the reason behind it. They will ask the questions, what is the reason behind it, why it is happening. So the thing is that we can make them understand by doing the experiment in front of them. Next is to stimulate interest. The thing that stimulate interest means when the students see the observations, see the practicals, they have different thoughts. Okay? So they will come after the experiment, they will ask you questions, why it is so, why not it. So they will give some knowledge, they will gather some knowledge, and they will have their interest in that. That means we can create the interest by doing the demonstration or experiment in front of them. The purpose of demonstrations. What is the purpose of this demonstration? What facts they will get, the students will get by doing the demonstration in front of them? to improve the skill of the students, to provide a various learning experience. Visual repetitions help to memorize the contents. Yes, once they see the things, once they can see the things, they will have their memories. Right? By doing the demonstrations in front of the students, you can improve their skills also. And some students, whenever they are going to class, if you are not demonstrating anything, basically in science, if you are demonstrating anything, even the literature, you can see the chart and other things also. But the question is their development. So by demonstrating, you can develop their skills, and you can demonstrate you can develop their thoughts also. And due to this, when they will do the experiment, their confidence level will be high. कि हम लोग कर पाएंगे, ये लोग सोचेंगे कि सर किए मतलब हम लोग कर पाएंगे. So this is the way, this is the main purpose of the students. You can increase their confidence level. Next, what is the basic purpose of lecture? To provide structured knowledge. Structured knowledge means what? Structured knowledge is basically the area of the topic, what you are going to teach in front of the students. That is the medical structure. So you have to make the planning of it. What topic you are going to teach in front of the students. So you have the proper structure of it. Proper structure में the lesson plan is coming. The most important role is lesson plan. The topic and subtopics are there. Some topics of the principles, some subtopics of the principles. You can motivate them. How you motivate them? Lecture method. Can you motivate the students by the lecture method? Anybody have anyone has any idea? By lecture methods, we have attended the college. The professor are coming to us and they are giving the lecture, whether we are understanding or not.
We can motivate.
Yes, we can motivate them. Can you tell me how we motivate them?
Because when we are actually giving lecture, we are teaching them the public speaking. We are telling them the way to interpret the things, that is intrapersonal intelligence. So basically we are talking about that. We are improving their caliber of speaking skills, delivering those things. So we can improve in that way.
Yeah. Good. The thing is that how we motivate them. Suppose we are going to teach in the class, ma'am has told you, but the thing is that you can share your views, your experience, the students' experience, the incident, so that you can motivate them. So that motivation should be related to the topic that you are going to teach in the class. And once you have the good start in the class by motivating them, you can make them understand and they will have their own interest to observe your class and to listen your class. Whenever you get a topic, we are going to topic, there are so many areas, but you will have to see the interest of area among the students. In which area they are interested. If you are teaching any topic, they may not have their own interest. Okay, they have already learned. So we have to give some new things so that they will take that interest. So we have to go for the area of interest among the students. Once you are coming to the lecture methods, you may not have the demonstration of it. You cannot demonstration, or it may not have the relevant experiment with it, but you can improve the difficulty level of this theory or lectures. If there is any difficulty, in the concept, that can be clarified by the lecture purpose of it. Demonstration you cannot clarify because everything is not possible. Every questions or every theory is not possible to demonstrate in the class. So that is why whenever there is development of the concept, you can clarify them with the help of only theory. That is the lecture methods. one Chinese philosopher was there, and he has given one quotation. That quotation is what? I hear, I forget, I see, and I remember, I do, and I understand. I think you are getting the meaning of this. I hear, what happened? This is basically for the students. I hear and I forget. It means when you are giving the lecture in front of the students, they are hearing, they are listening to us, but they are forgetting. They are forgetting. When they are going to the which, when going to the home, they are forgetting everything. When they are discussing with each other, they are forgetting. So what happens? I see and I remember. But if the students can see that demonstration, they can remember. They can remember, they can recall the things. And the next is, I do and I understand. अगर बच्चे अपने से करते हैं कोई भी एक्सपेरिमेंट को, if the students perform the experiment themselves, then they can understand better than the other things. I think they can understand. They have the concept. They will have the concept. They have the skills. They will have the theory idea. They can apply their thought in the real world. So that was given by the Chinese philosophers. Now let us come to know what are the basic steps for the lecture cum demonstration. Yes, very important things. The step for the lecture cum demonstration method. First is planning and presentations. So what is the planning and what is present? That is very important. Basically, in our school life, when you are coming to the class, what are you doing? Is there any planning for? Is there any planning, or we are planning for the students? Anyone? We are planning. Anything we are planning for the students before coming to the class.
Yes, we plan the concept which we are going to teach, basically the material which we are going to deliver in the class.
Any more, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. 1 point, right? Any more things?
We do lesson plans.
Lesson plan, yeah.
We
That is
do
also
lesson
good.
plans, what we have to do exactly, and all the materials we included in lesson plans so that we can be prepared for the particular
Yeah.
class.
Topic which we are going to teach.
Exactly. First step, planning and presentations. In planning and presentation, the most important thing is the subject matter. First is what we are going to teach in the class. Subject matter. In subject matter, what happens? The teacher should have the clear concept regarding the topic, the theoretical idea, as well have the practical knowledge of it. Sometimes the students will ask you, sir, ये नहीं होता है, मैम ये नहीं हो रहा है. So these have the clear concept regarding. So you can plan in that way so that while you are going to class and you are delivering your lecture in the class, you must have planned before it, so that you can present it well in the class and the class will be interactive. Next is, in that way you can go the interest, the area of interest among the students. If you are going to the topic, you must go through the at least area of the topic which the students are more interested. आपने जो भी टॉपिक पढ़ा है उसमें बहुत सारे टॉपिक जो है they are not taking much interest. कि वो लोग सोचता है कि ये सब बेकार है. The आगे will go through the things so that later on when come the next class we'll go through it. So that is why area of interest is more important among the students. So you have to plan in such way and such a topic and the subtopic so that their interest, their need of interest is more in the class and you can have the effective class. Second thing, when you are delivering your topic, you ask the question to the students so that they will have their knowledge. Second thing, they recall the things if they have learned. So by asking the questions, you can improve their knowledge, and if they don't ask, if they don't give the answer, you will explain it so that they will gather the knowledge regarding the topic that we are going to teach in the class. Next is lesson plan. It's very important for all of us. Though I am not doing now, still I have not done in the schools. But earlier when I was in the other schools, I was doing the lesson plan. Lesson plan is very important. What happens? Lecture method is basically the boring method. I told you, this is the boring method. You have to make interest on it. So that is why lecture come demonstration better with us. So that is why you have to plan in such a way. The lesson plan should be planned in such a way such that there is a topic and subtopics. So you have to write the principle. What topic you are going to teach, what subtopics are there. You cannot teach in a day. You make the arrangement in such a way so that you can take this class and you should have the control over the class among the students. Within 40 minutes you can finish it. So that by 35 minutes you finish it, and 5 minutes you discuss among the students with the various questions, so that they are able to know and they gather the knowledge from it. That is more important thing, the lesson plan. So the question is, whether you are doing, do you think that we are doing the same things? Lesson plan. The topic and subtopics must be there, and in a topic and subtopics, sometimes when you are teaching, some principles are there. Okay. So that principle should be there in the subtopic and the topic. That should be clarified among the students. You have to give the clear concept of it. So that will be a topic and subtopics. Okay. Actually, क्या करते हैं हम लोग? We have the tendency to finish the syllabus sometimes because we are not in a position. Sometimes we are going back, sometimes going to the house. We are absent for so many days, so we are not able to finish the topic in time. That is why our lesson plan is sometimes fail. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
We are not able to cope up with the lesson. So that's why you plan the lesson plan in such a way so that if you are going to the class, you can deliver the time. If you are making the lesson plan too long, you cannot deliver it because your time is 40 minutes. You have to complete it in 35 minutes. Sometimes you demonstrate it, and 5 minutes for the questions and answers among the students. So you have to plan the lesson plan in such a way so that you can complete it in 40 minutes. In some school it is 35 minutes. You have to take the class of 30 minutes and 5 minutes you have to discuss among the students. Next is rehearsal and experiment. Yes. Rehearsal and experiment is what? When you are doing the class, basically the science teachers, when you are doing the class, even the geography and history teacher, there are so many things are there that you can demonstrate in the class. Before going to the class, you must have the rehearsal. That means you rehearse it before going to the class. One day earlier or 2 days earlier or half an hour before, so that you can have the clear concept. You can have the demo over it in front of the students. So you have to rehearse. We cannot do it because we don't have the time. But this way you have to plan so that you can, once you rehearse it, you'll have the better knowledge. You have your confidence level will be high. You can make the students happy. You can read the question. The student read the questions. You can answer the question because already you have done it. So before going to the class, you must have the rehearsal of the experiment. Even standard 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Next is collection and arrangement. What is this collection and arrangement? Basically, when you are doing the experiment, there are so many apparatus. Am I right? There is a collect. So you collect this apparatus, and there should be proper arrangement. That means, if you suppose we have the class, go to the class at 11 a.m. we are having the practical in chemistry lab or physics lab or any science lab or geography or mathematics lab. Mathematics lab is there. So you have to collect everything before going to the class, before going to demonstrate it, and you should have the proper arrangement of it. So it should be either in one day before, or it should be, if you doing it one day before, then I think it will be better. And because you have to arrange it, and second thing, you collect all the things that is necessary for the experiments. And sometimes what happens, I'm sharing my one views. The rest are very small topics. I'm sharing one views, sharing one experience in the life. I was working in schools, in one schools, and I was the external of physics in some DAV organizations, DAV schools, Ranchi. Sir might be knowing. Now I think now he's the director of DAV, Mishra. He's the director. I went there, Ranchi. There was a practical for 7 days. I was there. But when the first day I came to the schools, I asked one student, कि भाई तो बनाए हो, you have done it, can you demonstrate it in front of the teacher? I asked. तो बोला हाँ सर मैं कर सकता हूँ, करके दिखाओ. तो वो तो कर नहीं पाए. Then I asked their teacher to demonstrate it. टीचर किए, लेकिन टीचर करने के बाद जो रिजल्ट आता है, एक्सपेरिमेंट का जो रिजल्ट आता है, वो नहीं करता है. Then I asked the teacher, सर आपने जब किए एक्सपेरिमेंट तो आपको एक दिन पहले ये सब सेटअप करना चाहिए था, एंड एक दिन पहले आपको ये सब बताना चाहिए बच्चों को कि रिजल्ट ये आना चाहिए इसका. That was the basically practical of optics, and I convex lens का focal length निकाला था 10 centimeter focal length, and their result was coming, I think 15 to 16. It should be in between 8 to 12. Experiment are very there is error. Experiment there is instrumental error. It should be 8 to 12. It should be more than this. If it is more than this, your marks will be deducted. तो setup ठीक था, ये लोग आ गए. टीचर कर दिए, टीचर किए, टीचर का 30 या 40 मार्क्स है. तो that is why it is better. हमको जहाँ तक लगता है कि जो arrangement होना चाहिए, that arrangement should be proper, and it should have the proper rigors, and before going to demonstrate, it should have proper planning and preparation. Yes. Now, introduction of lessons. First is presentation of subject matter. You will present the subject matter in such a way, such that you share your experience, you share the student's experience, you share your school experience, you share your college experience in front of the student, so that you can motivate them, and and that sharing must be at least should be related to the topic that we are going to teach, so that they will have their interest, and you can create a good climate, good situation in the class, and will have a comment about the class. I think that is the presentation of the subject matters. Suppose मैंने पढ़ा रहा है कि कोई भी चीज, suppose I am taking math class, and I am taking suppose algebra, and I am asking the questions, but you should have the proper knowledge of it. What is M minus B whole square? Should be planned in such a way. Before that, we have to share something among that, so that it will be relevant to the topic, and we can create the interest, area of interest, and you can motivate them, and you will have the better class, and you will have the control over the class. Control is very important thing in class. If you cannot control the class, that means you cannot teach in the class. Either the students is not listening, or you are not capable to teach. Next is experimentation. You demonstrate it, the result will get. You experiment. In experiment, what happens? It is so far as my experience time. If we are making the group, suppose there are 50 students in a class, and if we are making the group of 25 people, it is not possible to demonstrate the 50 students at a time. It is very difficult. So that is why divided into two groups, group A and group B. 25 come in the group A and 25 will come in the group B in different days. So what happens? When you are doing the experiment, you will have all the proper. Once you show that time in a particular time, they will confuse what is this, what is that. So we keep the proper arrangement one by one and display all these things one by one. So then clarify the things, what is this, what is that, what is the other things, and what is the function of this, what is the function of other things. So arrangement, giving the experimentations and correction of the objectives are the important things while performing the experiment, so that they will be able to know. Second thing is, while doing the experiment, you can ask the question to the students. In the meantime, or after the experiment, or before the experiment, before start, if you ask the question before the experiment, then I think it will be better for the students, so they will have some knowledge, they will recall the thing they have learned in the class. So that is better if you have the questions, some question section about the students before doing the experiment. And in the experiment, this is very important thing, the correction arrangement. If you display all the things at a time, they will confuse. They will confuse. This is what, that is what. We will lose our time. We cannot save the time because our time is 40 minutes. So you have to perform and you have to explain it. So this is the proper arrangement and proper corrections will be there, and you display it one by one so that they can understand, they know the things, what is this and what is that. Next is blackboard one. Sometimes what happens, we are doing the blackboard one, no doubt. But what happens while doing the experiment, while performing the experiment by the students, or while we are doing the experiment, what happens? The result is coming. Definitely you get some result. The important principle first is to write in the blackboard. And second thing, the result, the aim, the objective, and the result that you are getting, that you have to write. At least the result should be mentioned, and the principle should be mentioned. On which principle it is going, what is the principle we have used, and what is the result, what is the observation, what is the observation, what is the result is coming. That must be mentioned in the blackboard. So that they will note down this. Class में जाते हैं, they note it down. What happens? हम लोग जब class में जाते हैं, there is a bright student, there is a average student, there is a what?
Slow learner.
Yeah. So there are so many kinds of students. Background you see, there is so many background. They are coming from different background. So you have to be vigilant in that class. While vigilant means what they are noting down, they are write down or not. That is very important thing. If they are not doing these all things, that means they are not writing all these things that is displayed in the board. That means they will fall in trouble in the next class while they are coming to the next class. So if they write it, you have to be vigilant. If they are not writing, you have to ask them to write. And if they are writing, the one advantage they will get, the most important things, that since it is relevant to the subject, so they will clarify the doubts when they go and learn the topic from the book. So that is very important, so that they will note down the topic, note down the observation and the result. Because they will think of it, they will apply it in the real world. कि हम लोग जो किया क्या सही है? So that is why experimentation is very necessary. And before experiment, you should have all these things. The blackboard work must be there. Second thing is supervision. Supervision, I told you, the teacher has to supervise whether the students are doing or not. In a supervision, whatever, there are so many students. Some are writing, some do not write, some are not taking interest. So you have to demonstrate in such way so that you can create the situation, create the climate among the students. In such way, so they will come to you and they will ask the questions. That is the demonstration process. You have to explain and you have to demonstrate in such a way so that they will come, you not go there, that students will come and they will ask the questions, what is this? You have to create that climate in the class. Advantage. देखिए बात यह है कि we are not adopting this. Not only we, but most of the is that sometimes we have to go to the lecture and demonstration approach. These methods would allow us demonstration approach is not everywhere, in every situation, in every place. Though it is not possible in every situation, every class, but if we try it, we can shoot it. I did my master degree MSc from NIT Jamshedpur. That time it was NIT RIT, and Mr. Professor actually Jadhav is there. I think he was my HOD. my special paper was basically optics, that is laser and their applications. These are new papers. So I don't actually we have learned in BSc writing by graduation from Sambalpur University. So we have the knowledge, but later that was the deep dive. He did his PhD in holographic technology. Hologram, आपको समझना hologram. Yes, he did his PhD from holographic technology from IIT Delhi under the great optics Mr. Ajay Ghatak, Dr. Ajay Ghatak, professor at the department of IIT Delhi. These the methods he has adopted in the class and he has delivered in front of us, and that's I am going to deliver in front of you. What he told and what I learned, that I am going to deliver in front of you. Even now he is there, now still he is there in IIT also. What is alternatives? This method involves active participation from the parts of both the teachers and the students. Can you display the pictures, previous pictures? Yeah. You see this picture. The teacher is giving the lecture as well as he is going to demonstrate the experiments. So this is basically the lecture cum demonstration methods. What happens? Once he is giving the lecture means he has been the what? Active participations. He is giving the students are observing all these things, that when they are also the active participations in lecture cum demonstration. These are the pictures and these are one advantage of it. Both have the active participations, students as well as the teachers. Second thing, leads the students from concrete explanation to abstract concept is very important. Basically, these methods that I am delivering in front of you is a teacher-centered methods. It is a teacher-centered method, what I am delivering. What is this concrete and what is this abstract? Can anybody tell? What is this concrete and what is this abstract? We are leading from concrete to abstract. Yes, sir. Concrete to abstract.
Small to the elaborate thing. Basically, we start with a very small beginning and then we go on elaborating the topic.
Concrete is what the object the teacher is telling, that is basically the concrete. And when you are doing the experiment, ma'am has told, the small things and you getting the what? The bigger things. The teachers that has taken the real object, that is the basically the concrete things, and the result after the doing the experiment, after the demonstration, what observation, what result we are getting, that is basically the abstract. That is why it is leading from concrete to abstract. Lecture cum demonstration method is a good strategy to create and maintain interest and thrill of the students. This is very important. Okay, once you are demonstrating, while you are demonstrating the things, we are create the interest among the students. Alright, they come to know why this is happening, how this is happening. They discuss with the students. Even if they are not able to understand things, they again come to the teacher and they ask the teacher, why it is happening, why it is not. It should be this like, it should be this like, it should be that. So there is so many questions, there is so many skills they have developed, there is so many things they have collected from the experiment, and they will ask the different questions in front of the teacher. So you have to experiment in such, you have to do the demonstration in such way so that they will ask the questions and they will gather the knowledge from it. Second thing, they have, once they are creating interest, they have to create. Once they are coming to ask the question, it means they are maintaining the interest. Second thing, the zeal of the student. The zeal of the students means, can you tell me the zeal of the students? No, I am not asking you. Zeal of the students. Sangeeta, can you ask me zeal of the student? What is this? I have told you, listen to me. I have told you that while you are doing the experiment, we are demonstrating in such a way such that they are asking the question to us. It means we are maintaining the interest among them. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And then how will say that they are zeal of students. We are performing the experiment. It is zeal of students. ZEL.
We are just encouraging them.
No, we are actually creating a curiosity. What will be
Yes,
the
that is the
output of
zeal.
that?
Curiosity. That is the zeal. What happens? देखिए जब आप लोग आर्ट करते हैं, हम लोग it is a don't think that in your day to day life you get it. जो पेंटिंग करते हैं बच्चे को जो पेंटिंग आप लोग देते हैं ना, आप लोग खाना भी दीजिएगा ना, बोले मम बाद में खाएंगे. This is the zeal. वो थका हुआ है, घर में पढ़ा है, सब कुछ किया है, लेकिन आप सब पेंट करने दे दिए, वो आपको खाने दीजिएगा तो खाने चाहेगा. वो बोलेगा नहीं मैम हम खा लेंगे, माँ बाप रख दीजिए मैं खा लूँगा. So this is the zeal. थका हुआ, लेकिन उसका इंटरेस्ट इतना है उस चीज में. That is basically the zeal among the students. So you can create all these things by demonstrating among the students. Yeah, please. Advantage you have taken. Advantage, this is the method. This method is basically in both the participants are there, the teachers and the students, and leads to the concrete to abstract, and we can create the zeal among the students. Yes, role of the teachers. The role of the teachers. What is the role for all of us? The first thing, the demonstration should be planned and reached well to advance. Yes, rehearse well in advance. मैंने बोला था कि आपने जो भी पढ़ाइएगा, whatever experiment do, it should be rehearsed 1 day or half an hour before, so that you can demonstrate, you can clarify the doubt among the students. Second thing, the teacher should be clear the purpose of the demonstration. What we are going to demonstrate in front of the student, that purpose should be clear and should be clarified among the students. The second thing, the teacher should know the aim and objective of the demonstration. That means what you are going to demonstrate, there is some aim, there is some objective, and there is some result. So you should know all these things. Next, teacher should conduct question answers by the session that I told you. All these things are advantage of this analysis. Next one. Now next, what is the conclusions? Lecture from demonstration method is very effective for imparting education, and it has positive impact on the students' learning and experience. I think if follow this process by giving some part of lecture and by showing some to them, that is by demonstrating it, I think we can have the better learning. We can motivate the students. We can have we can develop the zeal among the students so that they can maintain their interest with the teachers, with the topic, and they can maintain the decorum and discipline the course.
So teachers, you have any query regarding this session?
No, very clear.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to call Parveen ma'am. So please come on the stage and tell few lines of today's session. Please, Parveen ma'am.
It is very rightly said. The role of a teacher is not to cut down the jungles, but to irrigate the jungles. And it was very nicely input by you, sir, by the methods you discussed, the way you told, the demonstration to be carried out and the rehearsal to be done before was very nicely input in your session, and very clearly the output was clear to each and every one present over here. It is highly appreciable the session you took, the methods you discussed was very clear and very conceptual, which we basically carry in our daily life. So thank you once again for such an outstanding session. Thank you to all my colleagues for patiently listening and incorporating their ideas too. Thank you once again.
Actually, ma'am, this is actually real life situations, real picture, which we suffer in real practice. Actually, this is.
Yes.
Thank you,
These
ma'am.
are basically
Thank
the
you, everyone.
basics.